Now, if there's one thing that I've always recommended to any tourist that goes over to Japan that's trying to study the language, learn the culture, it's that long before you'll ever need it, get a hold of an Archaic Japanese Dictionary. Because even if you're not going to use it now, you're going to thank me in 2 years when you will actually use it. But in the age of technology and apps and the internet and Googling things, is it still worth having a physical copy even when everything online is super cheap? Well, that's what we're going to figure out today. What's going on, everybody? My name is Chad, of course, name's on the channel, and this week is February 17th, which means we are approximately 1 month out from St. Chaddy's Day. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll have this playing right here. I made a channel trailer for last year's St. Chaddy's Day. You should check it out on my channel. It's a stream that helps the channel. Whatever you tip actually goes to improving the channel and getting technology and equipment, and it also allows you some shockingly good perks. So go over, check that out if this sounds like something you'd like to do. 4 weeks from now, March 17th. Remember the date. But without further ado, let's get moving on with the it's not a review, recommendation? That's why this isn't actually titled a resource review. It's because, frankly, as far as I'm concerned, when you're comparing most dictionaries, period, but especially these archaic ones, it's really like comparing a Toyota Corolla and a Honda Civic. They're both dirt cheap. They more or less serve the exact same purpose. They're basically the same price. Really, I guess it's a matter of preference. But that's why I'm not even telling you to get this one. There's nothing super special about this. In fact, I bought this on sale for $3 in Japan. And of course, I will talk more about this as we get onto the hands-on table. But this isn't a review so much as it is a look at, is this still worth it today? When you go to Japan, is this worth the weight to carry home? That's what I want to figure out today. Let's head over to the hands-on review table, get a little bit of my thoughts on this book, and maybe you guys can tell me what you think down below. I believe in a thing called love. That has to be one of the loudest intros because this has to be one of the thickest, heaviest books. Alrighty, we are back to the hands-on table. This week we are looking at frankly, this is just a general Kogoji 10, a archaic Japanese dictionary with complete translations. Who would have guessed? And actually, this is not the book. This is the cover of the book. In fact, most of these books come with some sort of hard cover, or at least all the ones that I've seen of them. And again, this is not necessarily a resource review, but this is asking the question, is it even worth having one of these? Is it worth bringing one of these back from Japan? Which is what I usually recommend to people. And that question is going to be hard just for me alone to ask because it's going to vary so much based on the person. So I'm going to do my best to show you everything that there is to know about this, as well as I'm sure most of the books would fall under the category of these. And I think together we can make an educated decision on whether this is something for you. And frankly, one of the main reasons why I used to recommend these, and I still do, to people is because of the back here. I don't know if you guys can see that, but this is normally about 26 bucks, 2,600 yen, not including tax. But if you can see right here, that's what I paid for it. I paid about 360 yen, about $3 for these. And that is, in fact, very par for the course, actually. You see, most people that end up buying these get them specifically for high school and for college, the same way that people in America would go to get like a generic degree, right? So English or business, history, kind of like a generic degree that, yeah, you want to go to a 4-year college, but you don't necessarily care about specializing in anything. A lot of Japanese people have that, and of course, because it's Japan, Japanese is that equivalent, right? And a ton of those degrees actually require some type of dictionary like this as part of a course that people will use for 1 or 2 classes and then just be done with it. Which is why there is such a plethora of these, and they're all so cheap. Like, the vast majority are between 100 yen, so $1, and 500 yen, $5. I got one that was middle of the road because I wanted to test a kind of an average and see what they're like. First things first, I want to show you guys their quick lookup. So if you look here, you can actually see they have the kana all the way down the spine. And just the little red mark next to it denotes which section they are. So you have like a, I, u, e, o, ka, ki, ku, ke, ko. So the a, ka, where is it? Sa, da, na, ha. And it just makes quick lookup really easy. So if you want to get into the kas, that whole line with the k's, this is it. If you want to get into all the ones, let's go right here. This is the H line. So it made quick lookup one of the easiest things about the book, which is frankly why I wanted to get this, is because I was going to use this kind of to fast look up things in museums, at historical sites, at monuments. I wanted something that would be super duper quick. The book also starts with these really beautiful pictures explaining different parts of castles, of meal setups, different types of clothing from this period, or from various periods actually. Just super helpful stuff. And the book, mind you, throughout it definitely has just various pictures. You can see there's one right there. But again, this is incredibly dense. There's lots of definitions in here. So why don't we take a peek at how to actually use this book? Now, as you can see, every red piece here, every bit on the page is a different style of a different piece of information that can happen with this book. But it does run, you know, just like most kanji dictionaries. You can see up here, you have here's the kana for how to read the kanji just below it, what form it is, and then you have a rough definition, right? So yeah, this is the head worker of a shrine just from like a quick cursory translation. And so actually, if you come over here and put it into whatever translation app you have, you can see, yeah, this seems to be the high priest of a great shrine. But this book has far more features than just basic definitions. It gives you words that are contained in like Genji Monogatari or the Collection of 1,000 Leaves, which is a poetry anthology. It even gives you like haiku words, like the seasonal haiku words, certain kanjis that are like that denote certain seasons in haiku poetry. They actually denote the season that the kanji is reflecting. I mean, there's so much stuff in here that I couldn't go over in a video if I tried, but it's so dense that I love it. And as you can see, you will just never ever run out of content. Even in the back of the book, there's a bunch of extra supplies that you can actually look up yourself. I mean, these are a bunch of different maps. You have uses for keigo, you have charts for grammar and vocabulary. I mean, it is just an absolutely spectacular book for anyone that is going to be looking into kind of first-person sources in terms of anything older than like Edo period Japanese. There's historical records. Oh my gosh, this thing is just so intense. This is all about the calendar and the Chinese horoscope. Oh, this here is a map of historic Japanese names. So if the name is the same, you can see that the modern names are in red, and what they were called back in the day is in black. And obviously you can see like this is Iki no Shima, so Iki is right, that's the same usage. But then that's just the same. So it denotes like the historical names of these places. So if you're reading a book and they're calling things different than what you know it to be, this would be hugely helpful. They have, I mean, shoot, this is city plans. This is a Nara city map. It's just so much information that no matter what you would want this for, it guarantees that it is worth the $3 that this thing actually pays for. Now you might be asking yourself, Chad, I mean, you just looked it up on your phone earlier. If I came across that kanji, why would I even want a book like this? And the truth is, yeah, a lot of these apps that we have nowadays do have a lot of these definitions, but there are still plenty that aren't even in those apps. I'll give you a good example of one I found recently. This here is rokunari, and you can actually see, so it's like rokuni right there. It has the same kanji for that. So it's actually very similar to the modern uses, but I just didn't know the rokunari. That just wasn't something that I ever learned in a grammar dictionary because it's not really used anymore. It's pretty old. And so you guys too, if you're gonna read anything like Genji Monogatari or like the Manyoshu or whatever, they use just outdated stuff. Not necessarily bad, it's old. And you also, by the way, in case you're wondering, you can read modernized versions of those. But it's kind of like in English. When you want to read Shakespeare in the original English that was written in, it's very hard, it's very archaic. A lot of that stuff isn't going to be in just a random modern English dictionary, and that's totally fine. The nice thing about this is not only does it give you grammar recommendations and vocabulary, it gives tons of cultural notes, tons of things that will benefit your study. And for me, I still want to use this whenever I go to Japan because I like looking at the scrolls that I see on a wall inside of some sort of Buddhist temple or in a museum. And instead of just getting the information fed to me by reading the Japanese title that's under the thing that kind of modernizes what it means, it's really cool to read what the person meant in their original language at their time. But I don't know, maybe that's just me. Now, for those who don't want to end up grabbing this book, I completely understand. In the description down below, I'm going to have 3 links for you. The first one is a free online Kogo Jiten, as well as it has a bit of an archaic kanji dictionary, but I find it lacking. It really doesn't have that much in terms of that. But that's free, and you can use it on your phone. I'm sure there's an app somewhere that you can use about it if you want to walk around and do what I'm doing, but do it with a free app. If you want to save the $3 and whatever weight this book would end up causing you, I completely get it. I'm going to leave that down there. The other two links are two versions of Genji Monogatari. One of them has English subs for you that are a little bit of a lower level learner, and that's a cartoon, and the second one is the same one, it's Genji Monogatari, but it's a dramatization with no English subtitles. And my hope is that if you have one of these, if you use that site, especially if you're kind of an intermediate or an advanced level learner and you can actually listen to it, understand what they're saying, try and compare how they use the words that you know and see if it actually is used the same, because a lot of the time you'll hear a word and go, oh, I know that, and then you'll be like, wait, that's such a weird usage for that, I've never heard that before, and you can look it up in these sources, almost like a little bit of homework. Sorry, I'm giving you homework, but I just think that's really cool. So yeah, this book, I'm happy I have it. I will keep it, especially for $3. It is totally worth having on my shelf. But if you guys don't want to spend the money, I have resources for you in the description. Go check it out. But that's about it for this hands-on review. I think I'm ready to pass this back to Studio Chad and get you kids out of here. So there you guys have it. We went hands-on with an Archaic Japanese Dictionary. What did you guys think? In my opinion, I would still gladly pay for this. I am very much a physical person. I understand, also as being a very budget-minded language learner, my entire language learning career, if I could find PDFs of something or get hella deals on it on a physical, I'm all about it. But I do like having the actual physical reference because I can add bookmarks. It's just super, for me, it works out really well, but I can understand how this is slowly being phased out more in favor of technology. But I don't know, for me, I'm still going to carry my dictionary in my backpack whenever I go to a museum. But that's just my opinion, guys. If you've had an Archaic Dictionary, or maybe you just have thoughts on the one that you've seen just now in my hands, you can leave a comment down below. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or compliments, feel free to leave them in the comment box down below. I do personally read all of them. St. Chatties, March 17th. Mark it on your calendars. You'll be able to shock and electrocute me and my friends. You'll be able to make us eat ghost chilies. You'll be able to hit me with paintballs, all from the safety of your house. You control the shock collars. That's the way I always put it. You can buy my books on Amazon, Twitch TV/Chad Zimmerman, @That's My Chad on Twitter, Chad Zimmerman on basically every other platform. Thank you so much to the Patreons, and if you are a Patreon, be looking forward to a video tomorrow. That's about all I have today. For my non-subscribers, thank you so much. You will get a regular outro, but if you are subscribed, you will get a special outro at the end. So for everyone that isn't subscribed, I love you. I see you. I can't really see you. I see a lens, but I see your soul. I'm looking at you. Dark in here. Love hard, love deep, and I will see you, hopefully, next week. Bye-bye. Hey, thanks for sticking around for the outro. That means you're clearly subscribed, because if not, you're trespassing. Get out. Obviously, we're a month out from St. Chatties, which is like one of my favorite things every single year to do. You get to tip me for even as little as $1, whatever's usually the minimum on Twitch. You get to shock us with dog shock collars. You get to make us eat ghost chili salsa, blended fish. This year we're stepping it up. We're actually introducing a few new segments. Maybe I'll announce one every single week up until we leave. The newest one I want to say is we're doing a segment for my buddy Tristan. It's called Where in the World is Tristan Ibbett? I know he doesn't watch my videos this far, so he's not at risk of watching this. All he knows is the title of it, Where in the World is Tristan Ibbett? And essentially what's going to happen is chat, once we hit a certain milestone, will help me decide a place to send him. Somewhere in the world. I'm going to buy him a last-minute round-trip ticket to somewhere, wherever. I'm just going to call the airport and be like, where's the cheapest thing that's flying out next? And I don't care if it's Idaho or Syria, he's going. And the whole theme of St. Chatties is very much like that. It's just random insanity for 4 hours, so please come hang out. It's on Twitch, March 17th. Again, one last time, thank you so much for all my subscribers who watch this outro, who watch all my videos. You guys are amazing. I can't do any of this without you, and I sincerely mean that. Literally can't get any of this without you. So, love hard, love deep, and I will see you all next week. Bye-bye.